Yo, what's up everybody? It's Connor from Unscripted, back with another video, where as always we will be doing things off the script. We have a little bit to talk about today, so before we get into that, don't forget to leave a like down below if you enjoy. Leave a comment as well with your thoughts on the video, what we talk about today, let me know down below, and subscribe to the channel as well if you are enjoying the content and looking for more videos like this one from me in the future. I appreciate all of that, it means a lot to me and it really helps me grow the channel. I think a decent month this month, and we could be looking at 100 subs by the end of the month, so that really would mean a lot to me. That's like the first big milestone I'm ready to achieve, so hopefully you are enjoying the videos and, will be with me along the way. I appreciate it all, and like I said, it means a lot to me, so let's hop right in. As you see here from Charlie Intel, we have Tencent, which it's like the Chinese version of Google, basically. It's like their big internet site. Will be shutting down Call of Duty Online in China at the end of August. The game was free-to-play PC game exclusively for China, which combined the best of the COD franchise into one game. Tencent will now push users to download COD Mobile instead, so I think it's kind of similar to COD Mobile in the sense that it's like, maps from certain games, different maps from different games, different weapons, all of that kind of combined into one playing experience, similar to COD Mobile, but just for China on the PC, and now that will no longer be. They will be encouraging users to download COD Mobile instead. I don't know why. I don't know if this is financial reasons or if it is international security reasons. I would assume one of those two. I don't know for sure which one it is. There's no article here. It's just basically a little bit of a news report, and it does say down here that Tencent says that players in China who played Call of Duty Online can receive bonus content in COD Mobile. Again, don't know why. I mean, it seems pretty cool. It's something that might have been cool if it could have became worldwide, but that is not the case. It will be essentially shut down here at the end of August. So, again, don't know the reasons, but that's that. Unfortunate for those players, and hopefully they can enjoy COD Mobile the same they enjoyed COD Online. I don't know if they will. I feel like I really wouldn't like playing COD Mobile, but I've also always been terrible at mobile games, so if you're better than me, maybe you'll be alright. But that's that. Sort of sticking in the same, the global reach of the CDL, I guess. I wanted to go to this tweet from Octane from a couple days ago, but I had it liked, and while I was gone and couldn't make videos, I wanted to talk about it, so here we are. Random thought, but the CDL needs to allow co-streaming. Obviously, the conflict of it being on YouTube comes into play, but the amount of growth from co-streaming is insane. He references Valorant and League of Legends as example, where somebody like Shroud can pull like 100,000 viewers watching the Valorant tournament, which he himself in his co-stream is pulling more viewers than the CDL pulls in their total stream, in probably 90% of the matches. Any really non-optic match that isn't in a major pretty much doesn't pull 100k viewers, and Shroud does it by himself in Valorant. So, there is a ton of growth there. Now, I'm not sure what exactly, I don't know what's like considered co-streaming, because I know you're allowed to have, like, people do watch parties on Twitch. I know, like, people can co-stream on YouTube, but they can't do it on Twitch because of the contract between the CDL and YouTube. I know Nadeshot has done something where he will be co-streaming games on YouTube, which could be big because 100 Thieves, when you consider overall esports brands, they might be the biggest esports brand in the CDL. Of course, Optic is the biggest just of the CDL teams, but when you consider the entire brand, 100 Thieves is pretty big. They're very popular on social media, Courage especially, Symphony, Nadeshot, of course, guys like that. They have a lot of reach, so getting Nadeshot on there, being able to stream these matches on YouTube should do some wonders, should bring in a lot of 100 Thieves fans who maybe have never seen the CDL before. They don't even really know Call of Duty at all or very little. They might get in there and get to view the matches, so that would be good for sure, but they should do it with more people. I just think there's a lot of potential here, like we see, like I said, with Valorant, with League of Legends, whatever else. I think this could be big. Hopefully, Octane's not the only one saying it, so hopefully more people keep saying it and it catches on. And just imagine Zuma. Even if he can get on the flank and just pull in 8 to 10k viewers watching the CDL who might not watch it otherwise. That adds up quickly over time. And 8 to 10k, that might be small for some other esports, but that's no small number for the CDL. A decent day in the CDL pulls 40,000 viewers in. I shouldn't say decent. An average day probably pulls about 40,000 per match. So 8,000 viewers that's 20% right there. That would maybe be extra, who knows, but there's definitely potential for it. I'd love to see the CDL incorporate more of it, follow these paths of these other esports, and we will see if they do or if they don't. It depends how stubborn they are. It depends how exclusive their contract is with YouTube, but it would be a step in the right direction for sure, and I'd love to see it happen. Now, moving on, this is completely unrelated, but we're just progressing right along. We have from Hamza. He says, they always keep my name out of the conversation. My challenger's accolades speak for itself. You could say I'm not the best main, but I have a record to prove it. The only person who I give more credit to in challengers is Gravity. He's been my top competition for the last 2 seasons. So, Hamza, of course, getting frustrated with not being able to crack into the CDL, and I think this might have stemmed from them on the flank, maybe talking about amateur main ARs who could be, or just maybe amateur players in general. I'm not sure how it went, but somehow amateurs came up and Gravity, or Tom... Hamza was not mentioned, sorry. Just thinking about my boy Tom Gravity, I'm always thinking about him. But Hamza was not mentioned. He took a little bit of offense to that. He has been very good. I do think Tom Gravity is the best main AR in Challengers or amateur, period. I think he might be the best overall amateur, not just main ARs, but definitely main AR. And then I do think the number 2 and the number 3 spots come down to Hamza, and I think Timmy Phantoms, of course excluding Methods because he is still on a CDL team. So I do think Hamza has a lot of potential. We'll see if he ever gets a spot, but if he does, I think he will make the most of it and play very well, and I hope for his sake and, those other guys' sake, Timmy Phantoms, Tom Gravity, whoever else, maybe some expansion next year could help them out. And we have here from Round 11 Stats, again, moving right along, completely different topic. We have, this is interesting from them about Abizi and his first blood percentage. We all know how fast he plays. Look at him way over here. So this is how many first bloods he gets. He's like the farthest by a lot. He has the most by 4. We know that. But then also his win rate is very high too. So you look at guys that are sort of towards his direction in total first bloods. Look at guys like Classic and Envoy and Venom and even Pristini and TJ and Vivid. All those guys, they have a lot of first bloods too, but their win rate, aside from TJ and Vivid, like Classic and Envoy and Venom, their win rate's not near as high. You would not expect a guy having as many as engagements as Abizi in opening kills to also win so many of them. It's been really impressive from him. And it just shows, his pacing, his everything. He's just phenomenal. I think he's the best player in the world right now. That's just one more stat to prove it. Not that we really need any more stats to prove it. Just watch the games and they speak for themselves. But speaking on that topic of Vivid here, we have something from Deserto, which I thought was an interesting conversation. It was from Enigma, who we'll see more from in a minute here. But he was talking about how he thinks Dallas made the wrong decision with Vivid. And when you think about it, what he's saying, it really does kind of make sense. So I was really not proud, but like high on this Vivid move at first. But then all of a sudden, I started to see a little bit more. I saw them play, and I saw maybe it's not going to be as good as I thought it was, that pairing with Shotzi. And part of the reason that Enigma was talking about is still the pacing. We know that Vivid was outpacing his LAG teammates by a lot this year, and that's fine. That was an LAG problem, but he might bring that problem over with him to Dallas because, as Crim6 and some others were saying about Hook, how he plays for kills or he's playing too aggressively, not playing with the team or whatever else, the same can kind of be said of Vivid. You couldn't slow him down with LAG this year, despite he should have probably slowed down at least a little bit for the team. You could argue they could have sped up to play with him, whatever. But you see there, he was outpacing them by a lot. And if he does the same thing in Dallas, how is that any different from Hook? When they were complaining about Hook playing for kills, not playing with the team, if Vivid plays too fast, that will be a similar problem that they will have to deal with. So I really don't see how that makes it better in that situation. But we'll see how it goes. They're not off to a great start with Vivid in there. They did barely squeak by London before getting smoked by Toronto. So you look at the top SMG duos like Toronto, like FaZe, like New York. Those duos know how to play together. That's the big thing. One's not crazily faster than the others. The team have good pacing. They all play together with their teamwork and their map control. They push together just all around. You can tell they're a well-oiled machine, basically. And Dallas, with Vivid so far, has not been that. It's only been 2 matches. Maybe they can change things around, but if they can't slow Vivid down, which really nobody else could do, those problems might persist. And when you look over at the ELO ratings, moving right along into the next segment, again from Enigma, we see Dallas is falling. They're falling quite a bit. Of course, I can't really see all this at once on the screen. I'll just sort of scroll through them. And Seattle's down at the bottom, of course, below 1,100. But FaZe first, of course, Toronto second, New York, Optic, and Dallas now all the way down to 5th. So basically what ELO is, it's not a power ranking. ELO is basically, it combines everything from the history of the CDL dating back to last season. How you perform basically compared to your expectations. If you are a good team and you lose to a bad team, you will fall quite a bit. And then if you're like a bad team that loses to another bad team, you won't fall as much because you might have been expected to lose or whatever else. But basically it just deals with how you perform compared to how you should perform given your recent performances. And Dallas, of course, started the year pretty high. They were the defending champs. They were playing well at the beginning of the year. They were pretty much top 2 for a while. Right, them and FaZe were pretty much 1 and 2. And now they're falling, and they're falling fast. And this plays right in with that Vivid thing. Can they turn it around? They're going to make champs. Like I said in my video yesterday, they will not fall out of the champs discussion by any means. They pretty much could probably lose every match the rest of the way and still make champs. But they really might not be a threat come champs, which is a big fall from where they were last year at this time. Winning the COD champs compared to really not even being taken seriously heading into this year's tournament. But their ELO is struggling. You see Enigma provides some analysis here. Let me see if I can. There we go. So he has a little bit more of detail. This is the lowest Dallas Empire's rating has been since the LA Home Series, which was, last year around the switch to online. So, a while ago. They've not been this low for quite a while. So they are definitely slumping. They're heading in the wrong direction. There seems really to be no end in sight for this team and sort of their downward spiral. Maybe they can turn things around again. Who knows? They have some talent, but it really has not worked out, since stage 2, probably, I would say. Another thing, if Seattle don't win next week, they will set a new lowest ever rating from any CDL franchise. The current record, of course, is held by them. They are on the brink of 1100. We'll see if we can see it here. Here we go. We couldn't see it on the Twitter, but they are below 1100, and they are not quite in last, but they are very, very close. They play FaZe and Rocker next week, so if they can't win one of those, which obviously they're probably not going to beat FaZe, but that also won't drop their rating much because that's expected. Like I said, it depends on your expectations. But if they do get smoked by Rocker as well, that could put them at the all-time low, breaking their own record from last season, and it's just been 2 years of misery for the Seattle Surge. I mean, what else can you really say? Also, New York has reached their highest rating ever, which is, not a surprise given their success lately. They are just on a roll. They got second at the major. They came out and they beat LIG 3-1 pretty easily, so they're on a roll. They are now number 3 in the ELO ratings, and they are right there with Toronto. I think, I'm not sure how close they are to Toronto, actually. So, I mean, they're a little bit behind, but they could easily catch up, too. It would not be a surprise whatsoever. And then, of course, just the growing gap with FaZe. They are pushing 1,600. They're over 100 points in first place, and really no sign of slowing down. Like I said in yesterday's video, I think they are reaching their final performance. I cannot see them getting much better than they are right now. But, I mean, that's a bold statement because they can always find a way to surprise us as good as they are. So, who knows? But that is how the rankings stand up right now, and we will see how they progress moving into next week and beyond. So, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like down below. Leave a comment as well with your thoughts on what we talked about today, and subscribe to the channel as well if you are enjoying the content. I do appreciate all of that. It means a ton to me. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a good day today, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.